Happy Thursday, mindful movement. A strap and a block will be recommended today. And we are going to begin lying down. I always like to take a little bit of movement before I come to stillness. A little rocking from side to side, adjusting to find that sweet spot where you can really relax. So take the time to make those little adjustments, those little changes. Bring a smile to your face. Take some deep breaths. Clear your mind and open your heart to this moment. Acknowledging the fact that you have set aside this time to take care of you, body, mind, and spirit. As you breathe in and breathe out, allow yourself to be present right here, right now. Letting go of all the other stuff. Notice if there are areas that need special attention in your body, areas of tightness, areas of injury, sensitive areas. Be mindful of those as we find movement today. This is about you. So give yourself what you need. Empty your lungs completely. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Start to awaken your fingers and your toes. Maybe blink your eyes open. Turn your head from side to side. Take in your surroundings. And reach your arms overhead. And with your legs extended, toes pointed away, stretch from the tips of the fingers down through the tips of the toes, and from the tips of the toes out through the tips of the fingers. Open everything up. And lower your arms back down. Bend your right knee, plant your right foot on the mat, and then roll to the outer edge of your foot, your ankle, allowing your right leg to open. Couple of breaths. You might feel the low back peel up off the mat. And then back up to center with your right knee. Connect the sole of the right foot to the mat. Notice the change in the connection of your low back to the mat. And extend your right leg and put a bend in your left knee. Plant your left foot on the mat and roll to the outer edge of your left foot, left ankle, opening your left leg out to the left. And again, noticing how that changes the connection of your low back to the mat. Bring your knee back up to center. Keep the sole of the left foot planted as you bend your right knee. Plant your right foot on the mat, and then move through some cow and cat stretches here on your back. So exaggerating, lifting the belly, peeling the low back up off the mat for your cow pose. And for your cat pose, you press the low back down, find a little tuck of the tailbone. You might even lift your hips slightly. Move through at your own pace. Cow and cat, cat and cow. Meet back, a neutral spine, and pull the knees in towards the chest. Hands can come to the backs of the thighs or to the shins. Circle your knees around a couple times one direction, and then a couple times the other direction. Lower your feet back down to the mat, preparing for bridge. Plant your feet hip width distance apart, arms at your sides. Press down through your feet, your shoulders, lift your hips up. Open up through the hip flexors, open up through the quadriceps. Press down through the big toe side of each foot, just as much as the baby toe side of each foot. And then press your shoulders a little bit deeper. Open your chest, just another inch for these last two breaths. Lower your hips back down. We'll bring the soles of the feet together to touch. Open your knees out to the sides, both legs open this time. We'll send the arms straight out to the sides from the shoulders, and then bend your elbows, cactus arms. I have a sensitive shoulder, so I use some support under my arm. Relax here for 2 more breaths. And bring your arms back down to your sides, knees up to center, plant your feet on the mat once again. And find your strap. I'm going to bring the right knee in towards the chest and place the strap on the ball of your right foot. You can hold on with one hand or both, find the grip that works for you, and then send your right foot up to the sky. Straightening out your leg as much as is available. And we'll gently lower the leg down a bit and then come back up. Maybe you just lowered down as far as in line with your other thigh and come back up. And take this a few more times. And you might add on to the range of motion. You might lower the leg all the way down, noticing how the abdominal muscles kick in to help with that. And then back up. Next time you come up, stay there. And maybe pull your leg in just a little bit closer. Your body is asking for a deeper sensation, option to extend your left leg and let it rest on the mat. I typically prefer the support of the low back that comes from keeping the sole of the foot planted. We'll put the bend back in the right knee, remove the strap, lower your right foot down to the mat. And if you've straightened your left leg, bend your left knee, plant your left foot on the mat. And then we'll pull the left knee in, place the strap on the ball of your left foot, and send your foot up to the sky, straighten out your leg. Again, you can hold on with one hand or two hands to the strap. We'll start lowering the straight left leg down some and come back up. Lower down some and come back up. And then as you go, you can consider adding on to the range of motion, lowering down a little more. Abdominal muscles do a lot of the work there. Press your low back down into the mat. Next time you come up, stay up and explore the possibility of pulling your leg in a little bit closer. And once again, if you're looking for a little deeper sensation, option to extend your other leg. Scan through your body and see where you are holding on to tension where it's not needed. Relax your face. Even though you're using your arm or arms, you can find some softness in your shoulders. Put the bend back in your left knee, remove the strap, lower your left foot down to the mat. If you've extended your right leg, bend your right knee, plant your right foot on the mat. We'll move into another bridge pose with feet planted, shoulders rooted, lift your hips up. Lower your hips back down. Pull your right knee in towards your chest and extend your left leg. We're moving into a twist. Guide your right leg over to the left. Stretch your right arm out to the right. And if you'd like some support under your right leg, bring the block in. Use the block to give your body the support that it needs so that you can relax into the twist. Take your time coming back to center. And when you reach center, see what your body needs before we take the other side. I like to take some circles with the knees, one direction and the other. And then we'll extend the right leg, the left knee drawn in, and use your right hand to guide your left leg over to the right. Stretch your left arm out to the left. Let your shoulders relax. Bring in the block for some support if you'd like. And let go. Bring back to center. Lower your left foot down to the mat, bend your right knee, plant your right foot on the mat, reset at the hips. And pull the knees in towards the chest. Find your strap once again. This time, place the strap on the balls of both feet. Send both feet up to the sky. We'll hold on with two hands, one on each side of the strap, so that we can open the legs out as wide as is comfortable, or as wide as the strap will allow, depending on the length of your strap. Press your feet up into the strap. Pull the strap down into your feet. Press your low back down into the mat. Relax your face. And begin to draw the legs back in, sliding the strap. Legs come back together, and use one or both hands on the strap to pull your straight legs in closer. Keep your legs elevated, soften the knees, remove the strap, and then move into a happy baby. Bend your knees, draw them down towards the mat on either side of your torso, and decide where you'd like to place your hands. They can be on the backs of the thighs, it can be on the calves, the ankles, or on your feet. If you've chosen to hold on to your feet, what do you normally do in this position? Do you normally grasp the outer edges or the inner arches or the toes? Try something different. You could even bring the palms of your hands to the balls of your feet so that the tips of the toes come to touch the wrists. Send your feet back up to the sky, straightening the legs once again. We'll bend the knees, lower the feet down to the mat, and roll to your side. Take a couple breaths on your side. And use the strength of your arms to press yourself up. We'll find table on hands and knees. When you come to your table, invite some movement. Could be more cow and cat stretches, able to move a little bit deeper in our cow and cat in this position. Might feel good to send your hips back towards your heels and come back up, or take some circles with your hips. Move around and explore. Paying attention to how your body is responding. Come back to the stillness of table. Then walk your hands forward to a kneeling plank. And lower down to your belly. Baby cobra, peel your chin and chest up off the mat, keeping your hands light. Press down through the tops of the feet. Feel your kneecaps pop up off the mat. Lower yourself down. Press up to kneeling plank. Come back to child's pose. Sit all the way back on your heels. Keep your arms stretched way out in front, perhaps towards the outer edges of the mat with fingers spread wide. Walk your hands back into shoulder width distance apart. Rise to table once again. We'll walk the hands forward, kneeling plank. Lower down to your belly. Lift up to baby cobra. This time, You can press down through your hands if you'd like. Feel your belly and thighs up off the mat, straightening the arms. Lower back down. Then kneeling plank. Strong rise to kneeling plank. Back to child's pose once again. Back up through a table to kneeling plank. Lower down to your belly. Lift to baby cobra or lift higher. You might even take an upward facing dog this time, pressing down through the tops of the feet. Taking knees off the mat. If you've chosen that, bring your knees back down. We're meeting in child's pose. You can either pull from center right here or lower yourself down first and then up to kneeling plank and back to child. This time from your child's pose, back up through a table to kneeling plank to downward facing dog. Curl your toes under, lift your knees to high plank, and then lift your hips. Invite movement in your downward facing dog, just like you did in table. Might be different movement, but it's, again, a time to explore. Find those areas that need to be awakened. From your downward facing dog, start to walk your feet towards your hands, forward fold near the top of your mat. Bend your knees, tuck your chin, and arms can dangle or palms on your thighs for support as you slowly roll up to standing. Take your time. And when you reach the top, stretch your arms out in front, and then open your arms out to the sides. Lift your chest, keep your glutes engaged, your hands active, fingers spread wide. Then arms come back into center. We'll bring the palms together to touch, interlace your fingers, and flip your palms out. Soften your knees. Find a little tuck of the chin, tuck of the tailbone, cat type stretch. And come back up. Open your arms out to the sides. And bring your hands together once again, opposite interlace of the fingers, flip your palms out, soften your knees, find your cat type stretch. And come back up, we'll open the arms out wide. And lift the fingers up to the sky. Palms face one another, lift your gaze if you haven't already. And as you reach your fingers up, relax your shoulders down. As you root down through your feet, lift your chest up. Find those equal opposing forces, the rooting and the rising. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Spend a few breaths in your forward fold. Could be in stillness or maybe some movement. Gorilla pose is a nice option here. Lift your toes and the balls of the feet one at a time. Slide your hands under your feet, palms flipped up. Toes come to kiss the wrists. Relax your head down so your neck is soft rather than bringing your gaze forward, tensing up in your neck. Just let your head hang heavy. Any bend in the knees here is fine. Helps open up through the low back. Bring one hand out from under your foot and then the other if you've chosen gorilla pose. Again, arms can dangle or palms to your thighs for support as you roll up to standing. This time at the top, we'll separate the feet a little wider than hip width distance. Place your palms on your thighs And send your hips back and down. Nice bend in your knees. And we'll send the left shoulder down towards the right knee. And come back up and go the other direction. Move that with the breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, left shoulder down to the right knee. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right shoulder down to the left knee. One more time on each side. Come back to center and rise. Feet come back in, hip width distance apart. Send your arms forward and up. Inhale. Exhale, cactus arms, elbows draw down, shoulder height. Inhale, back up, and exhale, hands to heart center. Keep your right foot where it is. Step your left foot back to a warrior one stance. Squaring off your hips to the front of the mat. Keep the back heel rooted just as firmly as the front heel. And stretch your arms out in front and up to the sky once again. Inhale, exhale, cactus. Inhale up, and we'll take an open arm twist to the right. Exhale, stay right here and breathe. Reaching your right fingers back, left fingers forward. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. And see if your hips are still in alignment or if one is shifting forward, shifting back. Any adjustments that you need to make, and take 2 more breaths. Inhale, arms up to the sky once again. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Spin your back heel up, step forward. And then we'll step the other foot back. Finding your warrior one stance on this side. Back toes might point out to the side a bit, maybe a little more forward, especially if you're feeling any tension or tightness in the back knee. Keep a nice bend in the front knee, straight, strong back leg. Squeeze your glutes, your abs engaged. We'll reach the arms forward and up. Inhale. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, back up. Exhale, open arm twist to the left and pause here. Relax and breathe. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Spin your back heel up, step forward. And reach your arms forward and up. Inhale. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, back up, and exhale down through center, forward fold. Take 2 breaths in your forward fold. Then with soft knees, find a halfway lift. Hands come to your shins or your thighs. Pay attention to what's going on in your back. If you're feeling that your shoulders are curling inward, open your chest. Pull your shoulder blades towards each other, slide them down your back, and shift a little bit more weight into the balls of the feet. Keep your glutes engaged, the abs engaged. Gaze straight down. One more breath in. Breath out, forward fold. Plant your hands on the mat. Step back to your high plank pose, push-up position. And lift to downward facing dog. Now you can either stay right here in downward facing dog, or you can take a little flow with me. Come forward to your high plank pose. Set your knees down on the mat, lower all the way down to your belly. Peel yourself up, finding the lift that's appropriate for you. Maybe even upward facing dog, like we did earlier. Knees come back down if you've chosen that, child's pose. And back up to downward facing dog. Walk your feet to your hands, forward fold. And this time we'll take a slow sweep up to the sky. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale up. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Once again, right foot stays where it is. Step your left foot back. Find your warrior one stance, each heel in its own lane on the mat. Both hips looking straight ahead. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Spin your back, heel up, step forward. Take the other side. Find your stance. Nice, strong foundation. And inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Spin your back, heel up, step forward. Then reach forward and up. Inhale. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, up. Exhale, down through center, forward fold. Halfway lift. Take a breath in. Weight shifts forward a bit. Breath out, fold forward. Plant your hands. Step back to your high plank pose. Then lift to downward facing dog and either stay in downward facing dog or take that little flow again. High plank, knees down, lower all the way down. Heel yourself up. Meet in child's pose. And then downward facing dog. Step feet to hands, forward fold. Slow sweep up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Step your left foot back, warrior one. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to center. Spin your back heel up, step forward, and step your other foot back. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Spin your back heel up, step forward. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, down through center, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back to your high plank pose, lift to downward facing dog, and then either stay there or find your flow. Of course, you know, if you want to bump this up, always have options, right? Meet in downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Now look towards your hands and walk your feet all the way through. We come down to have a seat on the mat. Plant your feet. Place your hands on the backs of your thighs. Relax your shoulders. Lean back a little bit. You feel the engagement of the core. Find a little bit of a rounding of the spine. Just the natural curve. And then come to the tips of the toes. Now, option to stay here or lift one leg up. Switch it out, lift the other leg up. You can continue alternating, or maybe you lift both legs. Navasana, both pose. Hands might remain where they are, or you could stretch your arms forward. Here for another 5, 4, hands to the backs of the thighs in 3, feet down to the mat in 2, and 1, hands to the backs of the thighs, feet to the mat, roll down to your back, and take a full body stretch. Reach your arms overhead, extend your legs, open everything up. Lower your arms back down, bend your knees, plant your feet on the mat, little reset of the hips, and then pull your knees in towards your chest. If it is comfortable for you to rock up and down the length of your spine, do that 4 or 5 times. We're going to be coming up to our table. So you can always roll to your side and press yourself up. If you're rocking, come to a cross-leg position and shift forward to come into your table. And once you find your table, walk your hands forward, kneeling plank. Find the strength in your kneeling plank. And lower down part way, ribcage to elbows. And a straight line, top of the head down to the knee. Your elbows tucked in. And press back up and send your hips back towards your heels without moving your hands. Inhale up to kneeling plank. Exhale, lower down part way. Inhale up, exhale, hips back towards the heels, hands stay planted. Keep that movement going with your breath. Next time you come to your kneeling plank, pause there, and then lower all the way down to your belly and find your lift. Meet up in a child's pose. And then up to downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, you're going to walk your hands towards your feet and your feet towards your hands. So you are in a forward fold at the center of the mat. Roll up to standing. And at the top, take a quarter turn, whichever direction you'd like, to point the toes to the long edge of the mat. And then step your feet out fairly wide. When you do that, find the strong connection of the entire sole of each foot to the mat. So notice if you're falling inward or rolling outward, even things out. Sometimes a tiny lift through the inner arch can help wake up the inner thighs, but you don't want to have all of your weight to the outer edges of the feet. Find balance. We'll stretch the arms straight out to the sides from the shoulders. And then lift the gaze, keep your glutes engaged, open your heart, like we did when the feet were closer together. Send energy out through your fingers, spread your fingers wide. Then gaze forward, bring your arms forward, palms come together, interlace your fingers, flip the palms out. Soften your knees and find a cat type stretch. And come back up. We'll open the arms out wide once again. Keep your glutes engaged. Lift your gaze. Then arms come forward one more time, palms together, opposite interlace of the fingers. Flip your palms out, soften your knees. Find your cat type stretch. Open up between your shoulder blades. Then back up, open your arms out one more time. Now gaze forward, place your hands on your hips. Keep a soft bend in your knees. So not like a deep bend, just a little softness so we're not locking out or hyperextending. Strong legs, strong glutes, strong core. And find your wide leg forward fold. Once you come down, let your fingers come down to the mat. Shift weight into the balls of the feet so your heels get lighter and you wake up through the backs of your thighs. Let your head hang heavy. Open up through your neck. Open up through your back. And all the way through the back line of the leg. Now start to walk your hands over towards your right foot. You could always use your block if you'd like. We'll keep the left hand planted on the block or on the mat and reach your right arm out and up. Lower your right arm back down. Walk your hands back to center. And before we take the other side, we'll find a really wide leg downward facing dog. Walk your hands forward and press your hips back. Open up through your arms, your shoulders, your back, your legs. Walk your hands back in. And then begin to walk your hands over towards your left foot. Again, block is certainly an option here. You'll keep the right hand planted and send the left arm out and up. Press the mat away with the right hand. Find your breath. Lower your hand back down. We'll return to center. Then lift your heels and bring the heels in a bit, toes out. Start to bend your knees. Fingers are down on the ground or on the block. Lower the hips down a bit. And maybe rock from side to side. Straighten your legs once again, returning to that wide leg forward fold with toes pointing to the long edge of the mat once again. Start to heel toe your feet in until they're about hip width distance. Nice generous bend in your knees, tuck your chin, roll up to standing. And at the top, reach your arms forward and up. Stay in this lifted position, right hand around your left wrist. Stretch up and over. Back to center and the other direction. And back to center. Lower your arms down. And we'll turn towards the top edge of the mat. Walk to the top edge of the mat. And inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, back up. Exhale, down through center, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, shifting weight forward. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back to your high plank pose. Lift to downward facing dog. And either stay in your downward facing dog or take your flow. You might even come forward to your high plank, stay on your toes, lower to low plank, elbows at your rib cage, and then find an upward facing dog before we meet back in downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths in your downward facing dog. And start to walk your feet forward. You'll walk your feet all the way through, come down to have a seat on your mat. Loose cross of your legs. Left foot closer to you than your right. So instead of pulling the feet in, you want the feet a little bit further away from the hips. You need some support, slide the block underneath your leg. Lift your chest, relax your shoulders. You might need to shift your hips from side to side. I typically do that to change the position of the pelvis so that the tailbone is pointing more back than tucking under, opening up space in the belly and lengthening through the front and back line of the body. And then begin to walk your hands forward, fold forward. You might go just a few inches. Maybe you come all the way down to lie on your feet. Wherever you are, breathe and relax. Take your time coming back up. At the top, we'll switch the position of the legs. And once again, a place at center, little tilt of the pelvis rather than a tuck. Lift through your chest, relax your shoulders, take a breath in. As you breathe out, walk your hands forward. Hold forward and relax. Let go. Slowly on your way back up. At the top, knee is up to center. Extend your legs out in front. Find center. And then twist to the right. Left hand to the outside of your right leg. Right hand down behind you. Back to center. Take a breath at center. Little reset. Then move to your second side. Twist to the left. Right hand to the outside of your left leg. Press down through your left hand. Back to center. Lift through your chest, relax your shoulders, and fold forward. I like to send my arms back in the forward fold, letting fingertips rest behind the hips to encourage an opening of the chest. You could also keep your hands on your legs, bring your hands to your feet. Come back up. Bend your knees, plant your feet on the mat. Get ready to roll down to your back. You take it very slowly, working the floor. Once you come down, keep your knees bent, pull your feet in a little bit closer to your hips, preparing for bridge, knees stacked over the ankles, feet hip width distance apart. Press down through your shoulders, your upper arms, bend your elbows, point your fingers to the sky, palms face one another. And lift your hips up. So upper arms and shoulders press down, feet press down. Lift your hips, relax your face. Lower your hips down slowly. Once your hips lower down, place your hands on your belly. And as you take 3 to 5 breaths here, feet might stay planted. You may prefer to bring the soles of the feet together to touch, knees open. You've opened your knees, draw your knees back up to center. Bring one knee in towards your chest and then the other. Tuck your chin, lift your head and shoulders off the mat. Wrap your arms around your legs. Squeeze everything in. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today. One more breath. And release into the stillness of Shavasana. If there's any last movement that you need before you find stillness, then take that. Just as at the beginning of the practice, once you stretch out, some adjustments can be helpful. Shifting shoulders, hips, arms, legs. To find your spot. The place of comfort. The place where you can completely relax. Simply breathing. That is all there is. Relax all the muscles in your face. Down through your neck and your shoulders. Relax through your whole torso, front, side, back, line. Arms soft and relaxed. Down through your hands. Hips and glutes. Relaxed. Supported. Soften your legs. All the way down through your feet. Breath flows in and breath flows out. And nothing else is needed. Embrace the sense of peace and calm. And smile. Thank yourself for making time to take care of you. Empty your lungs. Breathe in deeply the present moment. As you exhale, send energy down through your limbs and begin to awaken your fingers and toes. And as you continue your gentle, steady breath, awaken in other areas. Eventually, bend your knees and roll to your side, taking a couple breaths on your side. Press yourself up to a seated position. Heart open, shoulders relaxed, and smile on your face. Grateful for the gift of another beautiful day. I am grateful to each of you for being here to share this practice. The light in me sees and honors the light in me. Namaste.